What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Acts of Creation. And in this week's lesson, we take a look at the outsider from a perfect circle. What's going on, everybody? So this week we are continuing our little journey with a perfect circle. Last week we looked at Judith, and this week we are looking at the outsider. Another very highly requested song. All right, definitely a little more upbeat compared to their other ones, just like similar to Judith, though probably not as heavy. So let's just jump right in. We are in C sharp standard tuning. All right, that's a step and a half down. All right, if you want a PDF or Guitar Pro of the entire song, both guitar parts, down in the description below, you will find a link for that. Okay, so the song is two guitars, and the second guitar parts are mostly octave accompaniments of the riffs that are going on, and I'll touch on those when we get to them. Okay, it's cool. So opening up the song, we have one of the guitars. Dial back your distortion, semi-dirty, semi-clean. Awesome. Very cool little opening riff. So we start out, we have this power chord on 7th position of our A string, 7, 9, 9. You're going to basically pick the octave and then the two higher notes. Open A, and then you have this little sus chord, 5, 7, 9. And then C, or the 8th fret, what would be C in standard tuning. C, 8th fret on your low string, skip a string, and still have that 7-9 little power chord shape on the D and G string. And then a little melody there on your A string, 10, 9, 7. And then you're going to repeat that, except you're going to put a little fill in on that opening chord. Right? So you're going to keep picking out those notes, and then that's how I like to play it. So you're picking out those notes, so you can think of them as a group of 4. Right? G string, D string, G string, up a fret to 10. And then like a little lazy trill, 9, 10, 9, 7. And then 9, 9 again. And I end that chord a little differently. A little backwards from 9 to 7 on that G string. And then you have this little transition riff. Okay, slide from 3 to 5 on the low string. Major chord, right? So you're going to grab the major third there on 6 of your G, and then 7 of the D. Slide up to 8, and then 9, 9. And then you're going to shift and play that power chord. The open chord, basically an open E minor chord. Or an open C sharp minor chord in this case. And if you pick really close to the bridge, kind of like rake it across, you get a real nasally sound. Okay? So you basically, and then you're just going to hold out that chord for 4 measures, do it again, hold it out for 4 measures, and then the chorus riff is going to come on, okay? So as you hold on to those chords, the second time through, the second guitar is going to come in, right? So we can play this little octave on our 9 of the D string, 9 and 12. Let it ring out, hold it out, do it again. And then you're going to get this that little melody. 12, 9, 10, 7, 10, 7. And then that kind of leads you back to 9. And once you land on that 9, the chorus riff is going to kick in, and then you're going to play the octave accompaniment of it. So you just ring out. Okay, so we'll talk about that right now. The other guitar part, you have the single note or single string riff. that guy right there, you can pop on your distortion, on your low string, 0, 3, 5, 3, open 7, 2 dead notes, and then 12. Like that, okay? You do it 4 times, a total of 2 times, right? Okay? Now, that 4th measure, that halfway point, it almost sounds like he's doing something a little different, something like, kind of like that on the 1 string as a fill. Try that out, see if you like it. So as the other guitar player is playing that single note riff, the other guitars are going to play the octave melody, right? It starts up on 9. Right? So it's 9, 7, 9, 10, 12. Right? And then on the second half of it, you're going to repeat down. 9, 7, 5, 4, 2. On this part is when I guess you can call it the chorus of the song, right? And you're just playing open chords. So the rhythm guitar, the main rhythm track of the guitar, is going to go back to the very opening riff, right? But this time with distortion. That, but without the little fill. Okay, so it's very straightforward part that's going on there, and then the second guitar is just going to basically play those power chords. And you can play this a couple of ways. You know, you can just descend simple power chords 7, 5, 3. Right? 10, 9. Okay? Sometimes you can play, or you can play like this, a little more open sounding, right? Skip the A string, low string open. Right, so you got this open power chord, 2, 4, 5, and then doubling that E. And then open D5 chord. Okay, so that guitar is going to do that once. And then on the second time, instead of repeating it, it's going to add some more octaves. It's going to do a little climb up. So you land on that chord. I'll just play that whole. Okay, so you're going to start on that open chord and then climb up 8, 7, 9, I'm sorry, 6, 7, 9. Slide up to 12, 17, 14, 12. And there you kind of have this repeating. This back and forth play, 12, 9, 12, 9, and then a half step up. And that's going to lead in like the chug riff. Back into that. So you're very straightforward chug. The other guitar part, just hold on that octave, feedback, play with it, bend it a little bit. You're not going to be doing too much going on. Ad lib a little bit. And the chug is very straightforward. You have this, what would be an E5 power chord, 0-2-2, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 3-0, 1-0. Right? And just mute the open power chord in between those. And then you do that twice. And the second time, when you get to that 3, instead of doing, you kind of go. Just kind of slide up there. 3, 0, 3, 4, up to the 12th position. Whatever you feel kind of works best. So after that little chug riff, we are going to move back to the single note riff that we've already played and the chorus that we've already played. So I'm not going to go through those again, but what's different about the chorus this time is what the second guitar is doing. Instead of doing the octaves, right, after it accompanies the chords, it's going to move up and play. Right? That's the transition out into the next part, okay? So you accompany the 7, 9, 5 chords, and then it just, right? You're sliding up to 7 from 10 to 7, 5 to 7, right? Very, very power sloshes, right? 5. Slide up to 12, and then it's 4, 5, 5, 8. Rhythm. Now, then you open chord, right? Everybody's going to bring down their dynamics, right? Just like Judith, there's a time for the band or wherever you guys are playing with your ensemble to kind of work on dynamics. Everybody come down, everybody play a little softer, roll back your distortion, okay? So what's going to happen is we're going to play that open, let it ring out, and then we're going to play 11 and open, 7, all right, with a quick little hammer on the 9. And then you have this fill. Right? Cross string, 2 on the A, open on the D. And then open C sharp. And then 9, 7. And you can play the open string with that, get the octave sound going on. And then you're going to climb up now. 11, 12, 14, 12, 11. So now it's 11, 12, 14. You can slide up to 17, grab those high notes. And then this fill, coming back, right? But I like to play it an octave higher just for fun. You have 2 guitar players, you can do it both ways. And there it's 8, 7, really bring out that half step. And then you can hit that power chord on the 12th fret of your low string, and then jump down, and both guitars are going to do the single note riff. Right, 4 times through, twice around. Okay, you can hit the octave at the end of that if you want, beef it up a little bit. If you wanted to. After that, we're going to go back. It's going to lead us to this little section. One of the guitars is going to drop off. Right, that riff. Very cool riff. Again, very rock, very power rock, sloshing around power chords. Right, slide from 5 to 7. 10, 7. A quick 5 to 7. Right there, when you slide up, give it like 4 good mutes. and then 2 accents. 10. Back to that fill from the beginning, same thing as before. And now we're going to be playing open power chord, 10th fret power chord. And then harmonics on the first 2 strings. Alright, repeat, and dead notes at the end rather than harmonic. And then you step up, 5, 8, 3, open. 4 times on 5, 3 times on 8, 1 time on 3, open. Repeat the previous riff. Again. Except there at the end, it's just 2 opens instead of the 3. Okay. One cool thing that you can do: have one guitar player play the power chord on the 10th, and maybe the other one just plays the single note. Give it a little vibrato, a little bend. Sounds good together. Okay. So over that very last riff, another octave accompaniment melody, right? 14, 9 and 12. Up to 14 and stay there to the end. And there you go. There is The Outsider. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Alright, like I said, PDF and Guitar Pro of the entire song can be found in the description below. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. We're going to do the pet. We're going to do pet next. And as always, let me know what you come up with. Until then, I will see you next time. Thanks a lot.